YouTube and Meta might be actually pooping the bed because some lady decided to sue them for being too addictive and won $6 million. A jury awarded $6 million to a 20-year-old woman who said she developed an addiction to Instagram and YouTube as a child. Meta and Google have to pay $6 million, including $3 million in punitive damages and $3 million in compensatory damages. That is fucking insane. Just turn off the phone. We aren't serious. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's actually insane. That's literally free money. She won too on top of that. Wait, why are we actually against her? Wait, this is actually an interesting case because this is almost like suing anything. Like imagine suing Six Flags because it was too fun. It's because that is the point of social media. It is actually to be addictive. It's supposed to be addictive, right? And the problem is, I would kind of be on like y'all's side and be like, yeah, like she is definitely kind of stupid for this. There's no way you just expect to do that. And on top of that, win, bro. Like respectfully, when I saw this, I genuinely was like, bro, I'm addicted. I'm addicted as fuck. Dude, I've had like 20-hour days on TikTok. No exaggeration. Like days that I just want to sit there and bed rot. I've bed rotted my ass off. So where the fuck is my money? Like I feel like I should be owed some genuine money. The person that was suing them, her name was Kaylee. Kaylee said she was 10 years old when she started having feelings of anxiety and depression, disorders for which she would be diagnosed with years later by a therapist. This is all kind of your fault, but also I also think the parents have something to do with this. If your child is on Instagram and on YouTube at the age of 6 and 9, that is actually outrageous. Granted, none of these platforms have a genuine way of validating a user's age because they don't care. They genuinely don't care. I had a YouTube account. I think I've had the same YouTube account for, I'm 23 now. Don't say holy shit. I think I've had a YouTube account for maybe about like 18 years. Okay, maybe when I was 5, because YouTube genuinely doesn't care. Dude, you can use the guest feature on YouTube and there's no regulations on it. Anybody, literally anybody can watch YouTube. Anybody. Instagram too. I've had an Instagram account since once I got my first phone, which was in middle school. I was definitely underage, allegedly. I don't want to get my account banned. But to say that like it gave me all these problems is kind of crazy because YouTube and all these platforms literally build their algorithms for addiction. They have to. That's how it works. The whole goal of YouTube, the whole goal of Instagram, the whole goal of TikTok, the whole goal of Snapchat is genuinely to keep you on the platform for as long as possible, to give out as much ads, right? They have to get advertisements. That's how it works. So how do you do that? You have to have people on the platform for literally as much as you want. Okay? But my problem is they just don't admit it. Like, I think it's one thing to be like, hey, you know, I built my app to be addictive. Like it's fucking obvious, right? But they said, when lawyers for Kaylee told Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, that her longest single day of use on the platform stretched 16 hours, he denied that it was evidence of an addiction. I think that's obvious bullshit. It is clearly evidence of an addiction. But then he says, instead, he called a teenager spending most hours of the day on Instagram problematic. That is ridiculous. Genuinely ridiculous. Why are we just not admitting the truth? We have to just admit it. Literally, that is what the platforms build on. They build on this stuff, right? So Instagram and YouTube, they have to pay a lump sum of fee. So Meta will be expected to shoulder 70% of Kaylee's damages award, with Google and the remaining 30%. I believe they actually said how much this was worth. Let me see. Yeah, Kaylee should receive $3 million in compensatory damages and additional $3 million in punitive damages, which I don't even know what that means. But the fact that she won that is fucking stupid. And this is the craziest part, chat. She won more than that. She won more. She won because also TikTok and Snapchat were on this. Snap and TikTok were also initially defendants, but both companies reached an undisclosed settlement with Kaylee prior to the trial. Is that not fucking insane? It's genuinely baffling to me. So that means she must have won at least $10 million. $10 million. 6 from YouTube and Instagram, and then an undisclosed amount from TikTok and Snapchat. Now, I can't predict. I can't obviously be like, yeah, 100% Snapchat and TikTok paid her this much. But are we not going to really say around $10 million? Like, that is genuinely a wild thing, especially because if the fact that this won, what is YouTube, TikTok, and Meta and all these like other platforms, what are they going to do about this addictive platform? Jacksepticeye has literally gone on platform saying Mr. Beast ruined YouTube because he was too focused on the algorithm, right? And all these other creators literally hard focus on the algorithm. And I think that's why streaming is blowing up the way it is, because streaming is so anti-algorithm. It's so human based. All streaming is genuinely a connection between one person, let's say me, and a bunch of people that are interested in the same thing that they're interested in, and they'll watch you for hours and hours and hours. Like, you guys are part of my daily routine at this point, especially if I stream daily, and I'm assuming you find me part of your daily routine. Let's say if I stream at night, you're gonna put me on as like a regular TV show. We are connecting right now. This kind of feels like a FaceTime call, right? Whereas like YouTube, and especially TikTok and Instagram, they solely focus on virality. How often is a video gonna go viral, and how often are they gonna actually show off this video? And actually, I'm gonna go deeper into this. This is a short I uploaded on Abu Yusuf. Okay, got 8.7 million views. It gets 300k views in 48 hours. It is genuinely an insane amount of views. This one got 50,000 views. Look at the difference, right? 65% of people stay to watch. Average view duration 16 seconds. Really, like, this is really whatever. This is really good, right? But look at this stat. 83% of people stayed to watch this video and had 35-second watch time. Very, very similar to like the full-length video. But the fact that so many people stayed to watch this short blew it up. It was obviously a more addictive short to watch. It was more eye-catching and all that stuff, right? So you're like, what is the expectation that YouTube and all these people are really going to actually do? Because they can't put any barriers of entry. That would just ruin the platform. It would genuinely would. Imagine you have to go on YouTube and you have to put an age verification, show off an ID, this, that, and the third. And on top of that, it's just going to get bypassed anyway. Kids are going to watch it no matter what. I didn't watch YouTube on my own account for years. When I first started watching YouTube, I was on my parents' phone. And I was on, I don't think they actually had TV apps at the time, but I was just on my phone and my laptop and anything like that, using my family's account. This is an insane thing. And especially if this gets into like a class action, which I honestly really doubt. I strongly doubt this will ever get into a class action. This will do irreparable damage to all these platforms, especially TikTok. TikTok just got bought out. Literally just got bought out. So how the fuck are they gonna get just buy out, and then they're gonna be called too addictive? Suing a platform for doing its purpose is genuinely insane. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's supposed to be addictive, but the problem is, yes, we are like at a point where it's like really addictive. I feel like back when I was watching YouTube originally, it was addictive to the point where you would want to watch it, but it wouldn't take over your life. I think a lot of people have their lives taken over by all these platforms. People do generate like a lot of bad habits. I mean, I'm sure this girl Kaylee is it completely in like she's not lying about this, right? Kaylee has been since diagnosed with body dysmorphia, a condition which causes people to worry excessively about their physical appearance and prevents from them from seeing themselves as others do. Banana Man, thank you for the sub, bro. I don't think she's lying about this, but it's said that she got that from Instagram filters. She also stated to obsess about her physical appearance and began using Instagram filters that would change the way she looked, making her nose smaller and her eyes bigger, on some anime shit, almost as soon as she started using the platform as a child. Like, I used to use filters all the fucking time. They were fun. They weren't anything. Genuinely weren't anything. So the fact that like that's what she's blaming it on is kind of crazy. I think there is validity to it. You could get body dysmorphia from it, because especially with all the edited images and especially I think it hits girls harder than guys. I think guys are getting it more now with the gym arcs and the winter arcs and shit like that. But when girls go on Instagram, especially like the popular like Instagram models and shit like that, it is very clear like a lot of it, like especially back then, was much more edited. So the fact that this is actually going through is insane. Meta and YouTube are trying to appeal it, but are they going to win? I don't know. I genuinely don't know, right? But the fact that I think they're going against the actual ideology of, you know, building an addiction based platform is bullshit. Like, you cannot not claim it. It's an addiction based platform. It really is. Everything about it is meant to be addictive. Like, they get people all over this to make sure that we are fully attached to it. And you got to also think about, like, the biggest YouTubers and the biggest, like, TikTokers and all this stuff, like, they don't blow up overnight. They actually have to grind, but they have to learn the algorithms, which basically teaches them how to make addictive content. That's it. That's all it is. How to get you to watch an entire stream or entire YouTube video or entire anything for as long as possible. That is literally the purpose of every platform. A spokesperson for Google said this case misunderstands YouTube, which is a responsibility built streaming platform and not a social media site. Like, what the fuck does that even mean, bro? Responsibility built platform. What? This shit's not paying my taxes. What the fuck do you mean a responsibility built streaming platform? That genuinely makes zero sense. It's a social media app. I am socially interacting with multiple people. Let's actually look up the definition of social media. I'm curious. Like, what does it legally count as? Websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or participate in social networking. That is literally the textbook definition of YouTube. It is a website and an application that enables users to create and share content and to participate in social networking. That is the textbook definition. So if we're literally labeling YouTube as a non-social media, then nothing is a social media. This is, like, genuinely one of the fucking stupidest arguments I probably ever heard from a spokesperson. You know, another case against Meta and other social media platforms over their alleged harm to children is poised to begin in June in California. Like, this is not a one-time thing. This is going to be coming back to back, bro. It's actually insane. But if this actually wins, like, on multiple occasions, best believe I'm suing all these platforms to get my money. Respectfully, bro.